discover. And in my all sessions, what I really do is to discover rather than I preach and teach something. But this is something that I have been practicing over some time, and it has given me tremendous results. So, uh, and how we get results is when we start questioning something. Is it for real or is it for imaginary thing? Let's question it. Let's understand what exactly is despair and where and how exactly despair comes up. Okay, before I go ahead, I mean, whosoever are there on the live session or there on the Zoom session, can any one of you just describe in your own words about your experiences in the zone of you being this in the despair, anguish, and pain? Anybody would like to just share and just pump up, just share up. क्या भी दिमाग में आ रहा, जो भी आ रहा, आप ये शब्द सुन के despair, anguish, and pain को end कैसे कर सकते हैं? तो what exactly are you thinking? Just in few words. Whosoever there on the line, the live session, yeah. Anybody would like to share? Shabana, Vasant, Jai Kumar ji, or anybody else would like to share? Or you can also put your thing in the chat box, whosoever is attending the live sessions on the YouTube and Facebook as well.
Yeah. Good morning again.
Good morning,
everyone.
Good morning.
So what is coming up for me is that I mean, despair, anguish, and pain. This I think what I feel is it will not end, but it will keep coming. But we can get present, and then I mean there are many things where we can divert ourselves and then move ahead.
Yes. Okay.
What I am practicing.
Sure. So what if I give you one tool today, where a tool and one understanding today, where they will actually see end ho gaya hai. So there's going to be transformation. Now, what is transformation? Transformation is that yes, things are there, but I don't want to go there. चीजें मैं बदल चुका हूं, लेकिन I don't want to be there. So today I'm going to give you that tool, and you'll be surprised. You'll be jumping on from your chair. This is that tool that can really make an end to the despair, anguish, and pain, because it's something I've been practicing. So the first and foremost question to you, above all, what are your expectations from life? आपको जिंदगी से उम्मीद क्या है? क्या कोशिश करते हो? क्या सोचते हो? आपके लिए क्या है? If there is no despair, anguish, and pain, then what are you really expecting? Is this what is your idea about the opposite of despair, anguish, and pain? If you're really, really resisting, there should be no despair or anguish, no pain. And I believe that everyone would like to talk about it. I don't want, pain or despair or anguish. So what are your expectations and what do you really desire? And what are you really craving for? Or what are you really striving for? Now these questions is not a new question that I'm asking right now. So right now I'm really asking, and to be in this zone and ask yourself, what exactly are your expectations from life, from people, from situations, from circumstances? कि जिंदगी ऐसी होनी चाहिए, ऐसी नहीं होनी चाहिए, जिंदगी में सब कुछ पैसा होना चाहिए, रिश्ते ऐसे फर्स्ट क्लास होने चाहिए, मैं बैठूंगा आराम से, मेरी चाय बना के लेके आए. Everyone is like that. I want everyone to listen to me. I really want every situation to turn in my favor. So what are your expectations from life? And what are you really desiring out of life? People, situations, circumstances. Put it in the chat box. What are you striving for? Where do you find happiness? For example, right now, my expectation is that the music which is on about Tanki Bhar Gayi, I want this music to stop. And it is stopping right now. So what are your expectations on a day-to-day basis? What are you really craving for? What exactly, and where do you find happiness? So these are a few questions that I really want to ask you, and anybody can start chatting and answer that question. What are your expectations of life? Okay, I'll give you an example. My expectations of life that, I traveled all over the world and I take up sessions of mindfulness and training and coaching. I do multiple things all my life. I really want to, take a training session on the last day of my deathbed. I really want to do that. This is one of my deepest expectations. This is my deepest challenge also. And what I'm really craving for, I'm craving for my attention. People give attention. I crave for, people love me. People give me hugs. People, talk to me more and more. And what I'm really striving for, I really want striving for financial freedom. So where I don't have to work for money anymore. And where do I find happiness? I find happiness by just being present to my greatest love of life. I'm find happiness when I'm there with my guru and I don't say anything, actually understand everything. So these are my expectations, my desires, my cravings, my strivings. Where do you find your happiness? Put it in the chat box or just unmute and share. What are your expectations from life, situations, circumstances, people? What are your expectations? It can be anything about your health, finances, relationships. Put in a chat box or start unmuting and sharing. Just spend some time here. Let's spend some time here. If you really want to end the despair, anguish, and pain, let's really spend some time here. What are your expectations? Anybody would like to share? Unmute yourself. Okay. Somebody are writing a chat box. Expectations to earn 50. Oh, very good. Definitely, yes. And much more, much more. Yeah, wonderful. And what are you desiring for? What are you desire? What do you crave for on a daily basis? How do you want your life to be on a daily basis? Great, wonderful, great. Anybody else would like to unmute yourself or share or put in the chat box? Anybody else? Anybody? So let's question it. Okay. Jayakumar, you said I want to earn 50,000 a day. Now, when you expect this to happen, is there in the subconscious mind that is why it's come up for you? Now, let's say if it does not happen, let's say it does not happen. Desire that my better half love me unconditionally. Wonderful. Now, let's understand you crave for that, probably. What I'm listening from the answer, you crave for that. And when I crave for that. So what if it does not get fulfilled? Your expectations won't fulfill. What are you putting targets won't fulfill. But what are you craving for doesn't really happen. What are you really striving for that doesn't happen. So what happens to you when that thing does not happen? So either we just lower the targets, either we stop expectations. But what exactly is happening when something that you expect on a daily basis that does not happen? अगर वो जो चाहते हो वो नहीं हो रहा है तो क्या होता है आपको अंदर से क्या महसूस होता है?
दुखी होते हैं.
Yes. Okay.
It's not. And after that, what I feel that भाई इसके ये focus क्या किया मैंने? I
Exactly.
start working.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
We get sad and we go back to ourselves and say, oh, what have we really done? Did I really do a good job? Now, let's say this is happening consistently. Let's consider this is happening consistently, even when you say or when you don't say. This is happening consistently every minute and every second, that we expect things to be a certain way and things does not turn up. I was expecting, my wife is expecting my maid is going to come in time, does not come up. I was expecting my phone call with my business client to come up early in the morning, my New York time. It didn't happen. So it is consistently happening. I am sitting somewhere and something else happens. Don't you think it's just consistently happening in the subconscious mind? We expect something. Sometimes we don't even know what are we really expecting, what are we really craving for. And sometimes there is a feeling of non-fulfillment, a feeling of despair. Sometimes people don't behave the way we want them to behave. People start shouting on top of the voice. And sometimes or something keeps happening to our lives on a daily basis. And when that thing does not happen, okay, then there is a sadness. And when that piles up, let's say that piles up layer by layer, and you're happy, you're enjoying, you're going to parties, going to Diwali parties, New Year parties, so on and so forth. But that is piling up in your subconscious mind on a daily basis. And there's one fine day you discover that you are in emotional pain. You discover that you're in anguish. You discover maybe you are in despair. And then you again just rub off that, put it on the carpet, and you start doing something else. But there is a stage when the level of anxiety goes to such a high that you just don't want to move forward. Lot many times it so happen that we don't know what to do. We don't know what to decide. We have done everything in our business, finances, relationships, and things didn't turn up the way we were expecting them to turn up. So this is something is giving you so much of despair, anguish, and pain over a period of time. My question to you is, how many times in a day? Now, this is not a gratitude session, but this is a very small question to you. How many times in a day that you pay gratitude? I'm not saying about gratitude just to write mechanically on a piece of paper emotion. I'm not asking about that gratitude. I'm not asking that gratitude that you just say it for the sake of saying it because someone else say shukrana karo. So I'm saying about that gratitude which really comes from the bottom of your heart, comes deep down from the bottom of your heart. So are we really in gratitude to what we already have, what we already have created? Let's say when Jayakumar is saying 50,000 a day, how about paying gratitude towards already you what you're having? Maybe you are earning so 25, 30,000 a day. Are you really being present that? Okay, you may or may not be present, I don't know. But on a daily basis, how many times that you really come up and pay gratitude? Okay, so that's just a question. I'm not giving you the gratitude lecture today. So my idea and my intention today that towards the end of the session, you bring a tool, you take a tool to yourself and you bring an end to the despair, anguish, and pain. Now, let's consider you are not focusing on ending your despair, anguish, and pain. Let us consider your focus is not on your expectations. Your focus is not on desire. I'm not asking to become a sant, but I'm just giving you a situation where you're not focusing on your desires, your cravings, or your strivings for. And because you're not desiring, and something else happens, and you become sad, and you're not really, building it up or making it up or making it more and more. You are choosing to be a certain way. Now, what is the way? Let's consider. Let's focus on that. So, every thought we give to the universe or energy to is creating your future. This is a heads up on that. You all know you have been attending these consciously positive sessions, but just to give you a heads up, that every thought we give energy to. I'm not saying every thought you think because you cannot think. You only give energy to the 70,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So give energy to few thoughts. So is actually creating your future. Let's say if you are in despair or anguish or pain, let's say you are expecting something, let's say you are desiring something, let's say you're craving for something. If that energy is creating your future. Okay. So that is a heads up for you. But the story doesn't end. My question to you is your mind full of expectations, full of desires, full of cravings, and full of wanting the things to be a certain way? Or is your mind full? Just mindful. Are you mindful of what is happening around? As Jayakumar said in the beginning, I just get present to all the despair and anxiety and so on and so forth. So are you really mindful of that? Are you just present? Okay, fine. There are expectations that coming my way. There are cravings that comes my way. There are certain desires that comes my way. But I choose to be just present to that. But I choose to pay gratitude to what I have. So I'm not focusing on my desires, which is natural. It's natural to have desires. Of course, when you want, if you desire to, build a house, a four-story building, or maybe if your desire is to travel to the whole world, it is not going to happen tomorrow. Let's say, But till the time, what are you really doing? Till the time, what are you really doing? Are you focusing your energy to all those things on the left hand side? Or do you want to be present to what it is right now? Now, this comes are very difficult things to perceive, but just want to give you an idea that where is your focus? Where is your energy on a day-to-day basis? Are you mindful of those things, or you are just being peace and calm? And it's okay to be a certain way. So there are a lot of mindfulness practices that you can start doing it, but that is a heads up to you. So let's go to the next part. Now, what happens? What happens to our brain? What happens to our mind whenever there is a difficult situation? Whenever something that you strive for, or you expect for, or you crave for does not happen, and that is piling up day by day, minute by minute, every day, you are in a stressful situation, and your mind will work on two areas. Either you fight for it. Okay, I want to fight for making it happen. I haven't achieved my physical wellness for so many months and days, but I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to ensure that tomorrow morning I go up and land up in the gym or hit the gym and do all those exercises. I fight for it because I don't like the discomfort of my unhealthy behavior. So my wife is shouting at me, my wife is nagging. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to tell her, no, it does not work with me. I'm going to fight for it. My boss is saying something to me that something is not happening. I'm just going to fight. And then fight cannot be a verbal fight. Fight can be a silent fight in your head. What do you strive for? You fight more and more. I'm going to ensure that I'm going to make this happen in my life. The father says something, your daughter says something, your son says something, and you are fighting for it. Or your expectations all over the years, all over the pile of expectations or desires is not getting fulfilled, and you're so stressed up. And at that point in time, you'll either fight for it, or what are you going to do? You get away from it. There's the word which I always say, and I say it as my most important and most passionate word. And passionate word is called spiritual bypass. Now we take help of spirituality to move away from the situation, so that situation would not come to me. I want peace in my life. I don't want to get into the conflict. Sorry, I don't want to get into the conflict. Sorry, I'm not interested in an argument. Sorry, I'm not interested to, get into that stupid rat race of money and so forth. Now we are just getting away from. Getting a spiritual bypass. They just use certain words which takes you away from the situation. So दो चीजें करते हैं हम लोग, या fight करते हैं या flight करते हैं. So where are you whenever you strive for something and it does not happen? Are you in the fighting mode, or you just go away? Okay, fine. I've done everything in my relationship. Now I don't think things are going to work. You just go away and move away. Right? This is something that we normally do or normally see in our lives. Just put it in the chat box if it does happen to you also or not. आपके साथ ऐसा होता है तो आप chat box पे yes कीजिए, बोलिए या unmute करके बोलिए. What are your thoughts about it? What do you say about it? You crave for something and things do not turn up. You first of all fight or then flight. Now, if you are in that state, you will always and always be struggling. Always be struggling. Okay, good. Yes, Raki, when you stop fighting, but are you really getting away from that? That is something that you have to ask for that. My question is not about fight, or my question is not about flight. My question is, are you about in the moment? We are just present to the pain of despair, present to the pain of anxiety, present to the pain of things not getting your way. You just feel present. You are present to the discomfort of what is happening around, not happening your way. You're not even fighting it, but you're also not getting away from that. आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप सिर्फ ये देख रहे हो चीजें आपके साथ हो रही हैं, आप उसके साथ कुछ भी कोई लड़ाई नहीं कर रहे हो और भाग भी नहीं रहे हो, बट यू आर इन दैट डिस्कम्फर्ट. But the problem of human mind is that that mind gives you a message that, oh, I am in so much of discomfort. Let me go out to watch a movie, pick up my phone call and talk to my friend, or eat something very wonderful and delicious, or go for window shopping, so on and so forth. Because we get away from the situation. So my invitation to you is, are you willing to transform? And if you are willing to transform, are you willing to bring an end to the despair or pain or anxiety? And if you are willing, then my invitation to you is, be present to those negative feelings or emotional outbursts. Just be present to that. Remain in that discomfort zone for some time. If somebody is shouting at you, remain in that zone. If somebody is having a conflict or tussle with you, remain with that pain for some time instead of fighting away from that. Or if your expectations are not getting fulfilled, instead of running away or giving a meaning to that spiritual word, expectation करते हैं तो हमें कभी रिजल्ट नहीं आता है, उसको छोड़ देते हैं expectations को. But I'm not asking you to leave expectations. All I'm asking is, are you present to those expectations? Just being present to that. Just being mindful for that. There are a lot of mindfulness practice you can search on the internet: mindfulness eating, mindfulness thinking, mindfulness conversation. You can just practice that. In case you want more sessions of mindfulness, you can reach out to me and I can give you thousands and thousands of practices of mindfulness. You can do that. So are you present to all those emotions of despair, all those emotions of expectations or striving or craving? Just be present to that. Not that you would not do any take an action, but आज क्या होगा अगर आप craving और striving और पीछे जाने वाले हो तो कुछ हासिल नहीं होने वाला. But what if you are only and only getting present to those emotions that you are getting? All right. Today we don't have time to go to the mindfulness meditation, but tomorrow we might have the mindfulness meditation also. So that is something. My invitation to you is: are you willing? Are you willing? And if you are willing, then congratulations, this is going to be an end of the despair, anguish, and pain. Because there's certain things that you can start doing it now, which you were not able to do that because you were running so much to that craving and striving, and things were not happening the way you would have expected. And the result was anguish, despair, and pain. So if you're just present to that, this is something that you can start practicing. Right? The very first thing is that you set up the context. किसके लिए सोच रहे हो आप? कौन सी expectations हैं? कौन सी चीजें हैं जो आपको परेशान कर रही हैं? Which you are not able to handle. It could be eating habits, it could be relationships, it could be finances, moving for money, up so and so forth. So this first set up the context. The first thing is mindful, set up the context. What are we really talking about? Then take a step to complete with the past, because many times you move with some perceptions. Many times, in fact, most of the times. पहले ऐसे नहीं हुआ था, आगे से ऐसा भी नहीं होने वाला. If something hasn't happened in the past, this is not going to happen in the future. Consciously positive के past में कोई लोग आते नहीं थे, ट्रेनिंग्स में आते नहीं थे, सिर्फ 10 लोग बच्चे चश्मा आते, तो आगे भी ऐसे होने वाला है. So this complete with the past, because the past is in the past, and the past is in the past. You remain in the present moment. If you want to seek forgiveness to someone, go ahead and do that. Complete the past and be in the present moment. आज तो नहीं हो रहा ना वो प्रॉब्लम जो पहले हो चुका था. पहले आपको बीमारी हुई थी, आज तो बीमारी नहीं हो रही ना. You had problems in the past, in finances, in relationships, in your health, but that is the past. But this is the moment. Are you really getting present in the moment? So are you completing with the past? Instead of getting into the past, are you completing? Okay, you can say putting past in the past. Okay, that is the past. And now connect with your present moment inside out. This very moment, what is happening? This very moment, what is happening? Now, when I clap my hand, this is the past. इस मोमेंट पे क्या हो रहा है? this moment, the very this moment, the very this moment, the very this moment, this moment. No, no, not that moment. This moment. No, 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 no. This moment. Oh, not that moment, Baba. This moment. This very moment. This moment. Just get present with this moment. Whole energy is going to shift for you. The whole energy is going to shift for you. And once you connect with the present moment, you are in the line to create a future which you have always expected. So I'm not saying if you haven't flied before, if you haven't done the bungee jumping before, you just jump into that. Okay, you train yourself, complete the past that I have not done bungee jumping earlier. I'm going to learn it and I'm going to do bungee jumping now. All right. Similarly, and so on and so forth, a lot of things that you just cannot do. I mean, there are some certain common sense that you can start practicing it also. But create your future with the present moment. Right now, what exactly I'm experiencing, this is the moment, not the moment that is past, right? And then consistent with the steps above. Then consistent with the steps above. And the last is you get enough opportunity to co-create. Now, whatever you want in your life, whatever you want, whether you money, relationship, finances, or anything, you are never alone. Never alone. But you don't have to, reinvent the wheel again and again. You can co-create with people. You can co-create with the circumstances which is troubling you. Whatever is troubling you, co-create with that. The sadness that you're talking about, saying things didn't happen, learn from the sadness and go ahead. The people who are troubling you, are you willing to co-create with those people by completing the past with them? Because कभी किसी से झगड़ा हुआ, problem हुई, वो past हो गया ना. Are you willing to complete it, be in the present moment, or you are consistent with those steps or creating your future with them? And are you willing to co-create with them and doing all the steps again and again, again and again, again, again? And when you are able to do that, that is the beginning of the end of despair, anguish, and pain. That is the beginning. Yes, expectations are there. Yes, strivings are there. But that is the end of the beginning, or beginning of the end, sorry, of despair, anguish, and pain. So I have practiced it several times. I used to crave for certain behavior of my family, my partner, or my partner should say something, partner should appreciate, partner should acknowledge my presence, or my family should understand what struggles I've gone through, or my son should understand what I've done for him, or my community of my trainers could acknowledge the work that I've been doing with them for them. There is deep expectations inside me. And whenever they don't give me an opportunity to, be someone or be with them, or I expect them to call me for certain, interviews and so on and so forth. So I get a little frustrated. I get little pain. I mean, why cannot they acknowledge the work that I've been doing so many years? Why can't my son acknowledge that yes, I brought him in a certain way? Why can't my wife just be with me? Right? So when that spirals up, so I get into the mode of despair, anguish, and pain. But the moment I started acknowledging or starting being in the moment, or just saw what's happening around without labeling good or bad, I create a new future because the expectations goes away. Now the present moment takes over. The present moment takes over. इस moment पे मुझे कोई expectations नहीं है, क्योंकि ये moment इतना wonderful moment है. This one, that why would I waste my time in expecting something? No, it's such a beautiful moment right now. Right now, I'm focusing on consciously positive training and talk. It's such a beautiful moment. Similarly, there's so many beautiful moments coming my way, moment by moment. Why I would waste my time in expecting going to the past? And expectation happens because there's a past which is incomplete. Something that you have always wanted, things have not been happening, and you're still getting stuck over that. So are you willing to complete the past? Are you willing to connect with the present moment? Or are you willing to create your future? Or are you consistent with the steps? Then my promise to you, that is the beginning of the end of despair. A word without despair, without anguish and pain. That's a wonderful word. And just all you need to do is just practice a few things on a daily basis. All right. So with this thought, I just want you to come out with your pointers, come out with your thoughts. I'm going to spend next 10 minutes. I just removed my slide. I just want to spend next 10 minutes in talking to you and wanted to understand from you on the chat box or on the live. What are your thoughts about it? What do you say about it? What do you want to say about it? Anything you want to share? We'll build something from that. जो भी मैंने आपको बताया है उसके बारे में क्या बताना चाहते हैं?
Yeah, what I feel is basically practice what we ongoingly do.
Okay.
And that will certainly and slowly we will say like we will move ahead, not stuck on that.
And while you're saying it, Jay Kumar, what is your conviction to what you're saying? So what I'm hearing right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, can you be honest and say what is your conviction that yes, if I practice, I'll be making an end of despair, of anguish and hope, and not pain or pain. What is your conviction right now? If you practice it, you'll get it.
I am like happy that I'm practicing it, but again I keep going back. So again that despair again comes. यार ये चीज को कर तो रहा हूँ मैं.
Yes.
ये क्यों घुस जाता हूँ मैं.
और जय कुमार जब बार बार कर रहे हैं आप और बार बार आप वापस इस मोड पे आ रहे हो तो क्या फीलिंग आता है? अरे यार कितना करूँ यार, करता ही जा रहा हूँ मैं यार, मतलब यही करता हूँ. मेरी जिंदगी में यही है क्या? क्या बीवी को सॉरी रोज बोलना है क्या? Why would I do it? So ऐसा आता है, डिस्पेयर आता है कभी कभी, you know.
बिल्कुल.
Exactly. So that is where the mindfulness comes up.
Okay.
All you got to do is just be present with the despair. Oh, fine. Despair has happened. Fine. That's good. I'm experiencing anger. That's fine. I'm experiencing anguish. That's fine. Can't I experiencing anguish right now? Okay, I can experience it. You know what? There's one good friend of mine, and I keep on talking to that friend. And at times, I mean, she's also one of my coachee. She eventually became my friend. She was a coachee earlier. And, you know, at times she becomes very restless in the conversation. So, and she starts, you know, speaking this or that, and she becomes in the mode of self-pity and become victim, you know, मेरे साथ ऐसे ही होता है, सब लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं. These are the questions that she used to ask. All I do is I just get present to that person. I don't give any advice. I don't say anything to that person. And slowly, that person gets present to his own or her own anguish. And slowly the despair or the anguish goes away. So all I do and facilitate is just get present to that. No advice, no gyan, no wisdom. Similarly, whenever there is an anguish that comes our way, whenever we are in despair, don't give your mind words of wisdom. Okay, words of wisdom is good, but the very first thing is first clear the screen. Just be present to that anguish. Are you willing to do that? If you are willing to do that, just being present and being mindful of that, then you would not even believe what is going to happen next. Because what is going to happen next, you don't even know. What is going to happen in the very next moment, you don't even know. But that is the moment that when we start living it on a daily basis, things go on a different tone. Your mind will say, "Ye to bolna aasan hai. It's not easy to do that." Now get present to that thought. Or it will come back again. I've attended so many consciously positive sessions, so many healing sessions. It's going to come again. Just be present. Don't judge yourself good or bad. Just be present. Just be present. Are you willing to be present to your mind which says, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid? Just be present. Or instead of blaming people, that what the person is doing. Just be present to your negative thoughts, your irritation also, the discomfort in your mind, the discomfort here. Just be present to that. क्या होने वाला? कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला. Anything which does not kill you transforms you. Any pain that does not kill you transforms you. I'm not asking you to behave in a nonsensical way or non-commonsensical way. Of course, at certain levels, you've got to take some medication in your health. But for the shorter term, for the immediate first aid, are you willing to be present to your anguish, pain, and anxiety or despair? So with this note, I really want to end this session. And thank you, Jai Kumarji, and thank you. Anyone who would like to share a few thoughts for the next 5 minutes? So I'm happy to take questions also, whosoever, because a lot of people have joined late. But anywhere, anybody would like to share or ask questions, please go ahead.
Okay, Vinay, very good session. And I
Thank
feel
you.
that always my note on this is you can't change people. People can say whatever, but you can't change people. So my note on this is although worries come into my mind, I believe that as a trainer, as a finalist for Miss Amazing Malaysia season 2, I believe that begin with the end in mind. I always hear that term, begin with the end in mind, and celebrate your life and celebrate. Although there's pain, like me, I have recovered from my partially healed from my burns. So that day I wasn't invited for. I went for most of my functions, but one particular function they didn't invite me. So I got very upset. So the table was full. So there is always another opportunity in Miss Amazing Malaysia, and I'm gonna be your own superhero, and just keep positive.
Wonderful. So I just want to give one more suggestion. Begin with an end in mind, that's good, but begin with mindfulness. Begin with being aware and then plan for your future. Just being aware for something.
If you plan for your future too ahead, that means
Yes.
when you're occupied, it's fine. But when you are lying down and all that, if you plan too much, it will give you despair, like what you said.
Yeah, just present with the despair. Like if something is happening as per expectation, just get a bit present to that and take the next steps.
So thank you very much, Vinay.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rajvin. Thank you for your sharing. Yeah. Thank you. Great. So anybody else for the final words before I end this? Thank you so much, Jay Kumar. And
yeah, thank you, everyone. It was a very good session. So a new way of working on come up. So I will do that. I'll practice it. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Conscious Positive. Thank you, Shabana, for this opportunity. Thank you, Uma, Kalash, who joined late also.